right. So let's get right into it. So Pfizer has announced that they have a COVID vaccine that is, quote, 95% effective. What does that mean, Dr. Koren?
So, yeah, thank you for asking that really, really important question. You can imagine how many times that question has been asked of me in the past week. So one of the things that we learn in medicine is that you should directly answer the question. And I will say that 95% means that it's incredible to answer it right on top. But to really understand what that means, you have to dig in a little bit. So bear with me just a second.
Yeah.
So when you look at a vaccine efficacy, what you're doing is you're comparing it against the, quote, placebo group, or people that don't get it. And now we have information from both Pfizer and Moderna. We've been talking about this before. These are both manufacturers that are making the messenger RNA platform for COVID-19 vaccines. And we'll talk a lot about messenger RNA because we do a lot of RNA research right now, but that's an aside. So now both Moderna and Pfizer have released their numbers. Pfizer numbers are the following. 162 people got COVID who are not vaccinated versus 8 people who were vaccinated in the same study. So if you divide 162 into 8, you find the percentage, which is really what the efficacy rate is. Okay. So one way of thinking about that, and again, I don't want to get too mathematical, is that if you expect 182 cases and you only get 8, that tells you how effective it is. So that's 95% effective.
And this is coming out of phase 3, so it would have involved, 30,000 patients?
44,000 in the Pfizer study.
Okay, so out of the 44,000, those that did get the actual vaccine, not the placebo, we can say that 95% of those people did not get COVID. Is that one way of looking at it?
Right. Again, compared to the people who did get it, who did not get the vaccine, 95% did not. Correct.
So what's the takeaway from those who took
By
the
way,
vaccine?
in fairness, let me also tell you the Moderna numbers because, again, we're not favoring one versus the other, just to be clear. So Moderna came out with their numbers also. Interestingly, Pfizer originally did not list their numbers publicly. And then after Moderna listed their numbers publicly, Pfizer turned around and did the same thing. But the Moderna numbers were 90 cases of COVID in non-vaccinated patients versus 5 in vaccinated patients.
Any lessons learned from those who got COVID after being vaccinated in either one of those trials?
Very good questions. The other thing that the press releases mentioned were the fact that people that got severe cases were also much, much, much more likely to be unvaccinated patients.
Okay. So if you do get COVID and you're vaccinated, it may be a lesser form, kind of like with the flu, right?
Correct.
The flu vaccine.
Correct.
Interesting. Hey, if you're just tuning in, that's Dr. Michael Koren. That's his voice.